Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We got to talk about these Friday spoilers for Big Brother 22 All-Stars.
Yes, but first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, you know you can find that link in the description. Click on it. Join us. It's only $1.
Welcome to our Friday edition of HOH nominee chat. There is much less to talk about today from live feed, spoiler-wise, I should say.
Truly. I mean, we're not going to talk about the fact that Christmas is sleeping right now on 2 of the cameras. Like, that's how interesting the feeds are currently. But there is some stuff to talk about. We know what happened in the comp. There's another comp they played. There are some conversations for us to break down. And then we're going to get into scenarios of what could happen for this week, right?
Yes, I have to piggyback off of last night's elephant in the room that David brought up. And today I have to say, yes, I know that this is what my hair looks like. I'm very aware. It's a choice.
It is au naturel. We are celebrating Sarah's natural beauty today, folks. It's not always curled and pressed and done, okay? Sometimes you roll out of bed and you look great, Sarah.
Okay, thank you, David. Thank you for the support. The good news is I showered and washed my hair. The bad news is this is what you get when that happens right before a stream. All right. So last night the feeds come back after the HOH.
Yeah. And we were manifesting it. Jing, 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 jing. Let's get a Christmas HOH. Christmas came early. We're ready for it.
And what happens when you manifest?
It does not happen. Apparently Christy Murphy is out there working against us. She's manifesting a whole different thing. Like, maybe she's running
her bladder. It's like, ha, I'll get you.
Well, apparently she manifested an Enzo win because that's what happened.
Well, you know what? Hey, Enzo did something. He won.
Did he?
Well, I'm going to say yes, because we just didn't think he would do it. We weren't sure. We weren't sure what moves he was willing to make. And this was one he was willing to do to save himself.
There has been talk. I mean, I'm excited to see the comp play out on television so we can actually see what's going on, because we're getting the retells and all that stuff. But Cody is making comments like, I threw this comp to you, et cetera, et cetera. So if that happened, that is the rare instance of something getting thrown to Enzo rather than him throwing it to something else like that. Yeah. Will be interesting to see. But it also may just be like a pride thing with Cody. Like, I could have won this, but I gave it to you.
Yeah, I have a hard time believing Cody would have thrown this.
Right. What's the point? You get to play again next week automatically for HOH.
There is a scenario where Cody could be evicted this week. I just can't imagine he would risk that.
And I think he knows
it's a slim one, but you know, he absolutely knows
Christmas's target. So I don't know. I don't fully believe that he threw it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Enzo until we watch it and we see proof. Yeah. But there is still controversy on how this comp went down. Okay. Last night we did talk a little bit about this comp because we love it. And it works really well when you team up on someone to get them out. But Enzo's not really into showing his cards.
He's not, no. And so apparently Cody would strategically set up a move or set Enzo up for a move. He would make a move to set Enzo up to like go in for the kill or something. And then Enzo would be like, I'm going to go over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go that way.
I want to head over here to this corner, not anywhere near anybody else playing. You guys are over there. I'll just be over here doing my own chess moves over here. It looked obvious that he was not willing to get Christmas out with Cody and not get Cody out with Christmas. I assume Christmas was like, Enzo, this is our chance. We got to get Cody out.
Right.
And just like Cody's like, Enzo, we got to get Christmas out. And he's like, I can't. Yeah.
Because Enzo is constantly hedging his bets. He's like, He is like, I don't want to make anybody mad. I don't want to make myself a target with any individual. Like, look, I'm loyal to you, Cody, but I also don't want to make myself a target for Christmas because there's only so many people left in this house at this point. You know, he's just playing for himself, which, you know, I respect. That's the name of the game. Like, you got to be number one at all times, but it's just been a bit boring sometimes because he's not willing to make any moves. So he's kind of like sidestepping the opportunity maybe to take out Christmas, but they do eventually get her out. She kind of understands what's going on. And then we'll see what happens between Cody and Enzo when it's just the two of them. Cody, you know, is swearing up and down that he threw it to Enzo.
Right.
But we'll see how that plays out.
Yes. So Nicole is pretty upset. She feels like Enzo, you know, went against Cody. There was a conversation last night where she was like, Cody, how dare he? I want him out now. Like, this is horrible. I don't trust him at all.
At all. And I would never do that to you, Cody, ever. And it's, you know, this is what Nicole does. I don't think it's bad game. Like, you have to, you know, try to bring Cody even closer to you. If you're nervous at all about his connection with you versus his connection with Enzo, this is what you do. You sow doubt about, you know, how much Cody can trust Enzo. So she's like just trying to make him think like maybe Enzo doesn't have my back. You know, he wasn't playing with me in this competition. That's what Nicole does well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely in line with her game for sure. And we do see a little bit between Cody and Enzo. Cody was like, dude, like, I was setting up the movie. So where were you?
Yeah.
You let me down. You know?
And he's like, yo, we were going in and we were getting too close, you know, and like we were going to get jammed up in there. So I moved out and just so that to like open up our options. That's it. Yo, you're like, I was just trying to like keep the board open, like that kind of thing. And he's, you know, talking like Enzo talks. And Cody's like, okay, like, I don't know how much Cody is buying this, but Enzo's doing what he can to kind of like cover his butt in this scenario.
Absolutely. Yes, they are doing nominations. Feeds went down right as we were going live. And it is no secret that he will be putting up Nicole and Christmas.
Yes.
There haven't been a ton of conversations, but it's very obvious what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we saw the conversation, Nicole Cody. We talked about the Enzo Cody conversation. There was really no Nicole Enzo conversation, but Enzo did talk to Christmas a little bit this morning, right?
Yes, and last night he did sort of confirm with Cody, like Enzo and Cody, he was like, neither one of us has ever hit the block. We're Jersey boys. We're never gonna hit the block.
This is Hall of Fame stuff. You know, this is Derek did it on his season, and like he's one of the best for sure. But he did it with rookies. We did it with all-stars, and we're all thinking like, all-stars is still kind of a loose term here, but okay, I see your point.
Right. So the conversation this morning with Christmas, we didn't get all of it because the feeds do cut. They do go to a comp that the feeds were down for a few hours today. But she, you know, she kind of comes in with the whole Cody's dangerous. Cody's got to go. And Enzo's like, I'm scared of Nicole. Nicole's such a threat. She's a winner.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah.
And that was kind of it.
Yeah. So, you know, I think Enzo is a little bit there just trying to maybe maneuver Christmas to evict Nicole if Christmas does end up winning the veto, because it sounds like Enzo wants to sit in final two with Cody. Whether or not that is a smart decision, that's up to the jury.
Decision. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But he's trying to, you know, adjust what Christmas's game plan might be, because there's only one scenario where Christmas doesn't go home this week. And that is if she wins the veto. So, you know, Enzo is laying the groundwork to maybe save Cody if Christmas does end up winning that veto.
Yeah, and kind of let her, you know, he's not saying who he's nominating, but he's kind of letting her down softly. He's pumping up Nicole as a threat, as a target, not worried about Cody, for however you think you can support that, whatever. But so we don't hear him say, I'm not putting Cody up, but she's going to get that information later today. And she kind of got the sense, I did hear her cam talk in between her sobs this afternoon about how she feels like she probably is going up and that's upsetting to her. But, you know, that was his easy way of, or subtle way of being like, not going out with Cody. Sorry. Sorry, girl.
Yeah. But he does tell her that, you know, Nicole is his supposed target. But this is the week that it doesn't matter who the HOH's target is, because it all comes down. The only thing Enzo has done here is guarantee himself a spot in the final 3. We talk about this every season, but now whoever wins the veto, they are the sole vote to evict. So they just get to decide. They don't have to follow Enzo's wishes.
And we are going to break that down. I got graphics. We got visuals. We're going to talk through all of our veto scenarios. But before we get to that, let's just talk about the fact that they played a comp today.
Right.
A luxury comp for $10,000.
And Nicole won the 10K. I
mean, who woke up week 9?
She certainly did. You know, it's funny. I didn't see any conversations criticizing her for winning 10K like we saw with David. I guess maybe if he'd gone for it in a luxury competition, but he went for it in the veto comp. It's like a totally different thing.
Well, it is a little different when you're not on the block. She's not on the block yet.
It's fair. She's
not playing for her life. But of course, no one's complaining whatsoever that Nicole won $10,000. At least not that we saw this afternoon. But it did bring Christmas into a complete spiral. I mean, we know.
I was going to say that Christmas did find something to complain about. It wasn't necessarily Nicole winning the 10K, but there was something with they're picking a juror in this competition, and Christmas apparently did not pick Memphis.
She did not, but apparently Memphis either was the winning pick or just because Nicole picked him, it's the winning pick. That I'm not clear, but she was gut-wrenched that she didn't choose her best bud, Memphis. He's going to be so disappointed. It looks like she doesn't believe in him, is what she was saying in between sobs. And
you're being very kind by using the term best bud to describe Christmas and Memphis's relationship there.
Her close pal.
Her
Memphis.
close pal that she hugs for a long time.
Long hugging.
Lingering hugs, best
friends with long hugs is what they are. This is also her first morning without mornings with Memphis. Like the two of them every morning have coffee together and work on their friends with long hugs relationship. And so she didn't have that this morning. She didn't pick him in this comp where Nicole won $10,000. With Memphis or for Memphis, like what? I don't know.
Memphis won something along with this. What we don't know.
Yes, and she said something like, "If Nicole had picked Davon or somebody else, like she's like, it's hard to explain, but like
it's hard to explain because we think you're in love with him and you're just not saying it. So it's hard to explain that you're in love with someone when you can't say that you're in love with them.
It's super hard to explain. So that's what we got information about that, that Nicole won that, and it was devastating for Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, obviously this luxury comp is going to fill out one of the upcoming episodes. They've been doing the heavy lifting to fill these episodes, I think, because of the sleepiness of the house. Literal sleep right now. Again, with Christmas on the feed, she is asleep. She's probably up now because they're doing nominations, but it's just quiet in the house. So they're throwing in this comp to give us some more content here. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Maybe is that going to be in the special episode next week?
I did see some speculation that was where it might go, but usually, I don't know. I'm expecting the special episode on Friday to be the meal around the table with the clips, and they're like reminiscing on the season, and then we'll see the first part of the final HOH competition. But I don't know, maybe they'll throw in a comp as well on that. I don't know why they would do this comp though with Christmas in it after she potentially gets evicted. Like I do think that the fact that all four of them are in this comp, they would need to air it before the eviction on Thursday.
And they have done this comp in this time before, and I think they air it maybe on the Veto. Maybe we get this luxury comp and the Veto.
Sure.
Or maybe the just right after the HOH comp on Monday's episode, we get
Could
this
be
comp.
because, you know, earlier this season, I think we were doing HOH and like noms and the safety suite comp in the same episode, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll probably see it in the Sunday episode, I would guess.
Anyway, we're going to see it next week at some point. After Enzo wins HOH, we'll see that comp, and then we'll see this. Right? So let's talk about our...
First of all, let's talk about these graphics that Sarah put together. Graphic artist on that resume. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm impressed.
I'm a visual person. I always have to write this stuff out to go through scenarios. So I figured if I'm a visual person, some of you guys might be too. So let's.
Yeah, I think it's easier to see it. Like we know all these people. We know their names at this point. But sometimes it's just easier to see the faces along with it to clear things up. I love it, Sarah. Nice work.
Okay, thank you, David. David's so supportive. All right, we know Enzo is the HOH.
Yes.
But who wins Veto is who gets to vote solely. They're the only votes. He's going to originally put up Christmas and Nicole. That we know.
Right.
But there is one and only one scenario.
Only one.
Where Cody could be evicted.
Yep. And that's this one where Christmas wins the veto competition. So, you know, she's got to pull out her beastiest comp beast here for the veto comp.
Yes.
And if she does get it, I don't think that Enzo is going to be able to talk her into evicting Nicole. I think she does recognize that Nicole is a threat to win the game because she has talked about, if I'm on the jury, I would vote for Nicole, especially if she is sitting next to Enzo. So she is looking at her as a potential winner for sure. But Christmas is kind of the only one who's seeing things really clearly right now that Cody is like steps away from winning this game, right? Like she's the only one really going after him.
The only one.
And she's the only one who realizes that it's the big move right now to get Cody out. So I don't think that she's going to miss that opportunity. She's been talking about it for a couple of weeks now. If she wins veto, I definitely foresee her evicting Cody.
Absolutely. I mean, she's the only one who sees this.
Mm-hmm.
And not only is she in a lot of danger, like she, honestly, if she doesn't win, she's more than likely being evicted. So like she has to save herself, bottom line. Mm-hmm. But the bonus, the icing on the cake is she will evict Cody.
I mean, if this happens, this is an enormous week for her resume, for her to be able to say, because she recognizes that it's 3 versus 1 right now, that her back is against the wall and she has to win to stay. So to be able to say, I won, and if I hadn't won, I would have been evicted, but I won, and then I took out the person that you all would have voted for to win the game, that's huge. That's like gold star at the top of her resume for this season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we're all in a weird place where we have mixed feelings about where this season has taken us.
Yes.
But, you know, so this, I will celebrate this if this happens, because otherwise Cody wins the whole thing. Like, we're not just talking Cody makes final 3. We're talking Cody wins the whole game.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
All right. That's scenario number 1. Now, number 2.
Scenario. If Nicole wins veto and takes herself off the block.
Yes.
Cody goes on the block, but Nicole's not voting Cody out.
Nope.
She will evict Christmas.
She will evict Christmas. Now, it's kind of disappointing only because Cody is the big move. And I wish Nicole would like have the guts to say, got to take Cody out. Like if I'm going to win this game again, I got to do something serious, something major. And I think taking Cody out could be that thing for her. So for her to do it here would be incredible. And I do think that she should want to take Christmas to final 2 at this point. Like give up on this loyalty to Cody. You don't want to sit next to him. He'll beat you. and you could potentially beat Christmas. So save Christmas and send Cody home. But I don't know if that's going to happen. I really don't think so.
Yeah, if Nicole really was thinking strategically for her game, the move here is obviously win Veto and vote out Cody, because you have really, with Cody out, she has very good odds of winning to the end, winning out.
Yeah.
And Christmas will take her.
Yeah.
Because Christmas thinks she can beat her.
Right.
So she still has a chance to be taken to final 2. So I think if she got rid of Cody at this point, she could very well become the first 2-time winner of Big Brother. And that's massive. Why would you want that?
I know. I just I don't even know what to say really, because it's just annoying that it's probably not going to happen, because you want to see the really good gameplay at this point in the season. But unfortunately,
I just don't see her.
I hate to even say she's going to go the safe route and evict Christmas, because that's not the safe route.
It's not.
But she just seems like she is so in with Cody.
Yeah.
And it's almost like the loyalty that Cody had to Derek, where it's I'm loyal to a fault. I'm going to harm my own game in order to be loyal to you. That's kind of where we are with the two of them.
Yeah, it's oh, well, the chips will fall where they do, but we are loyal to each other. Who's to say who's going to win? We were loyal to each other. And it's oh, I don't think anyone wins next to Cody. Cody hands down.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay, what is
scenario numero 3?
Well, if Cody wins Veto, Cody's 100% winning Big Brother 22.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. He will have another comp win under his belt here. He's definitely going to send Christmas home, because he can afford to be super loyal to Nicole, because I do think he would beat her in a final 2 scenario. So, he can potentially, this keeps his option open of taking that day 1 or pre-day 1, who knows, alliance to final 2. We made it at the beginning of the game. It lasted the whole time. Here we are. And the fact is that I played a better game. Give me the win. That option is still open for him if he keeps Nicole. And he's evicting the person who's coming after him. He's got to evict Christmas. She's the only person in the house who is targeting him. So that's his smartest move for sure.
And who won't take him to final 2. I mean, Cody's setting himself up really nicely. If he gets rid of Christmas at this point, and for some odd, crazy reason, Enzo wins, Enzo will take Cody to final 2. And if Nicole gets the choice, Nicole takes Cody to final 2. So he's sitting pretty. He's in the perfect spot once Christmas is out.
Yep. So easy choice for him here.
Yeah, can't blame him at all for that. Now, if for some reason Enzo actually wins Veto, I mean, let's talk about it.
For some reason, yes.
If pigs are flying, what are all of those sayings? I have no brain. Okay, you get it.
Hell freezes over, right?
Yes, all of that. And Enzo wins Veto. I mean, first off, good for him. But what he wants doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And
Cody will be
Cody as the sole vote to evict.
And same scenario, he's going to need Christmas out. We did hear Enzo try to talk to Cody last night about getting rid of Nicole. He made a really good case. I was very impressed that he said, look, up until this point, we were who's the biggest threat to win the game? Let's get them out. We said that about Tyler. We got rid of him. Said that about Memphis. We got rid of them. So now we've got Nicole and Christmas sitting on the block. Who's the biggest threat to win this game? Nicole. So we got to get rid of Nicole. And Cody was what are you talking about, Nicole? You're not going to win this game. Christmas is the biggest threat. Christmas is the scary one. All of a sudden, I mean, for weeks, they don't put any respect on Christmas's name. And all of a sudden, Cody's she's going to win this whole game. She's the biggest one. She's so terrifying. Got to get her out. Got to get her out.
Well, because he can't really be she's coming after me. Nobody else cares that she's coming after you, Cody. You're the only one who cares about that. So smart for you to try to paint her as this big threat, but I don't know who's buying that. You've all been crapping on her game all season and kind of making fun of her behind her back. So I don't think anybody's oh yeah, you know what? Christmas could win this thing. No, nobody thinks that.
We talked a little bit about this last night of like Enzo has this great social game, but everyone is used to telling Enzo what to do, and Enzo goes along with it.
Mm-hmm.
He did not orchestrate anything this entire time. He did not manipulate or puppet anything. And so now when he actually is like trying to make moves for his game, like keep Memphis last week and now keep Christmas versus Nicole, he just does, he can't make it happen. Cody's like, no, I've always gone my way this entire game. You do what I want. And so that's how this is going to go down.
Yeah, exactly. So
it doesn't matter that
one scenario. There's one scenario where Christmas stays and Cody goes, but Nicole is a lock for final 3.
Yep. Yeah, we see very slim chances that Nicole goes.
Yeah.
I don't see how it happens. So Nicole is in the final 3, as is Enzo, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest if it's Cody, Enzo, Nicole in final 3.
And then I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest if it is Cody, Nicole final 2.
No. We've seen this coming for quite a while.
Yeah.
And remember, we let it all go about caring.
Yeah.
We're okay with that.
Oh, yeah. No, we're not caring. That's our brand now, is not caring.
We care.
No, we care. We enjoy. I mean, I'm still enjoying this. Like, don't get me wrong.
I actually am.
I'm still enjoying watching this season. And like I've said before, like not having a favorite left in the game has like lifted some of the stress of watching Big Brother off of me, you know? So I really can just kind of sit back and like appreciate what's happening. I'm still frustrated when, you know, people aren't making big moves, but I feel like I have a little bit more clarity to think like, oh, I wish they'd make the big move, but that's not good for their game. Like I can appreciate that in a different way because I'm not like rooting so hard for one specific person to win.
Right. Exactly. That's all it is. You just got to take the investment out from like who your favorite is or being so hurt if this person wins because it just doesn't always go the way that we want it to.
That's right. And that's okay.
Yeah. But here we are. This is our final 4 and Enzo finally won something. So he is safe and Nicole and Christmas will be on the block, which might make Nicole go a little neurotic because she can get paranoid. And it's also could maybe, I mean, we keep saying like, when is Christmas going to lose it? She kind of lost it today over Memphis, but
I mean, Nicole is definitely going to spiral. Like, I don't think it will necessarily be like a self-destructive or like, you know, tank her game kind of spiral, but she's definitely going to be having lots of conversations this week about trying to guarantee her safety. So.
Yep. Would it increase Enzo's chance of winning if he got rid of Cody? Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, we didn't make that scenario because it's not going to happen, but absolutely. If Enzo put Cody up as a replacement or whoever, if anyone but Cody wins, I don't think you'd put him up as a original nom because they're fighting.
Right.
But if 3 of the 4 win veto, you take someone down, you put Cody up and you vote him out. Yes. Big move. Does he win the whole game? It depends on who he's sitting next to.
Depends. Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, I don't think he'd have any trouble convincing Christmas like, hey, I won the veto. I'm going to take you off. I'm going to put up Cody, send Cody home. Christmas would totally be on board with that. Like he's got, if he needs a soldier to try to backdoor Cody, he's got it in Christmas. So
100%. And if Enzo or Christmas wins veto, that's the conversation she's going to have, whether Enzo likes it or not, you know, that is going to be the
she could easily go up there and be like, you know, Cody's going to win this game. Let me make me get the blood on my hands. Yeah. Although I guess Enzo would still get the blood on his hands because he would be taking Christmas down to put Cody up. So it would be like a shared move. So I don't know that that's the thing, but she would go up and be like, Cody's going to win. We got to get him out. I'll do it for you, you know?
Yeah. Right. Well, they could both get credit for it, for sure. Yeah. And honestly, if Enzo orchestrated that, Nicole and Christmas would then, moving on to the final HOH, would be like, we got to get Enzo out because he can claim that in the final 2. He's then actually of value.
Yeah.
like a target value.
Yeah. But Enzo, I mean, there was a moment that I saw in the feeds, like, I think he's in it a little bit more. Like he's thinking about his resume more than I'm giving him credit for, or maybe more than I'm realizing, because I saw this like moment alone where he's like looking at pictures or something with the HOH key around his neck. And he's saying like, I got to win out. That's it. I got to win out. So I think he knows I don't have a great comp resume. I got to bolster that. And like, I also just need to use these wins to guarantee myself a space in the final two. So he's like, maybe a little bit more in it now, maybe more willing to win comps.
Right.
I hope at this point, you know?
Yeah. No, I definitely thought that he's been throwing them and waiting until he wanted to make moves. So it makes sense that now would be the time he's willing to do that. But I don't have a lot of faith that he can win out. Maybe he can.
We have no clue. We don't have no idea how good he is at competitions.
We just know how good Cody is. And we know Nicole's pretty darn good, especially at the like memory stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, she knows all the days and everything that's happened in the house. Like she's hard to be in those, and Cody's hard to be in just about everything. So it's going to be hard for Enzo to win out. But if he does, he's still going to pick Cody and take Cody to final two. And then maybe they both have good arguments. Maybe if Enzo can say, I won final four HOH and then Veto and then final three. And then, you know, my Jersey boy, I brought him here.
Yeah. I mean, you know, there's that. But I just think like, if I'm a jury member, I'm sitting there thinking, you won out at the end of the game from like final four on. You won out and you still decided to bring Cody with you.
Right.
That alone, I don't want to give you the money. Like, you should have known that Cody had to go.
That's what Cody did with Derek. Like, great. You brought your buddy along, but Derek 100% deserved to win.
Right.
And that's what's happening. There was during Christmas and Enzo's conversation this morning, this came up and they were like, did Cody bring Derek or Derek bring Cody? And they couldn't figure it out. I don't know if they were faking it to each other, but they were like, I don't know. We'll have to ask him. And I was like, okay, you should know so that you don't repeat the same mistake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a big old thing that Cody did that. He brought Derek and Derek won. Cool. Had he brought Victoria,
he would be a Big Brother winner. He would also be competing to be the second Big Brother winner.
Yes, exactly. That did not go. That is not how that went. So,
nope.
Yeah. So great. Yeah. Enzo, win out. Do it.
Yeah.
But
step it up. Let's see it.
Good luck still beating Cody in the end. You have to take Cody out right now.
Yep.
And I think that Nicole, even if she starts to realize that she might need to take Cody out, I feel like she wouldn't want to do it at 4. She'd want to do it at 3.
I think you're right there, but that I'm like wanting to shake Nicole through my screen there. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you don't have the luxury of waiting here because you don't know that you're going to get enough. This is classic. Take the shot when you can. Like, you don't know if you're going to get another opportunity. Cody could easily win the final HOH, you know? So if you win the veto, Nicole, and save yourself, come on. Like, you got to realize that this is the moment to take the shot at Cody. What good does it do you to wait? Enzo is not going to take you to final 3, regardless of if Cody is in that final 3 or if Christmas is in that final 3. Do you think that Enzo would take Nicole to final 2 over Christmas, or do you think he would take Christmas?
I think he would take Christmas.
Me too.
I think, why would you risk taking a previous winner?
Agreed. Yeah. So to me, it's like
Nicole, it's shown no respect.
Yes, exactly. So I'm like, Nicole, this is your week to take the shot at Cody if you can.
It is. But I also understand that she's going, well, Christmas could maybe take me to final 2, but I don't know if Enzo would. I know that Cody probably will. So she's weighing who would take her to final 2. Getting rid of Cody, yes, huge move. But then does she even make it to final 2 is her next thought. I say, yeah, you would, because you're probably going to beat both of them in the comps and you will win out, Nicole. Yeah. So make the move. Make the bold move and like really build your case to win.
I know.
All right. So that's what we say.
Yeah.
Obviously, they think different things inside their head because they've done everything that we have told them not to do this entire season.
Yep.
Basically.
Right.
Yeah. So feeds will come back from Noms. Christmas and Nicole will be on the block. They'll play Veto tomorrow. And then we will know which way this is headed.
We will know. Yes. And then we will be back on Monday with our recap of the Monday episode, which will show everything that we've just discussed with the noms, and potentially this luxury comp as well. And then we'll have the Veto spoilers for you guys on Monday evening as well.
Absolutely. Thank you guys who joined us live here in the chat. We appreciate it.
We do. And if you're joining us later, make sure you leave us a comment and let us know, 1, what you think about Sarah's graphics. 2, how much you love Sarah's natural hair. And 3, how do you think this week is going to play out?
Oh, and then also Big Brother. So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Okay. See you then.
Bye.